There's supposed to be a sensory garden somewhere. Do you ever get a thing where you see two letters or a letter in a word and it's highlighted? You immediately wonder if it's someone trying to send a message. SG, who's that? Is that a spy? I don't know. Maybe I've just been watching too much Enola Holmes. Hey YouTube, Girasol here. We finally got some peace and quiet. I'm at Lanark Loch, if you couldn't guess, out for another vlog. There was a ton of school children on the walk from where I live, which is kind of the centre of Lanark and the Loch. So I picked a really terrible time to show you guys the streets of Lanark. Still getting used to this whole vlogging thing. I've had a lot of pro tips from John, who you would have seen in a previous video. And one tip being, act like you know what you're doing. Act confident. Film with purpose. This has turned into a motivational speech, hasn't it? That's what he is. He's my motivational speaker. No, he's not, because that sounds terrible. But he gives me some good tips, and it's helping to grow my confidence. And if I can spin you around here, look at that. You're like, what we're looking at, Julie? There's nothing. The sunlight looked really pretty. There it is, a little bit shining over my hat. Of course, when I've spun it round, it's all blown out, as John would say. See, I'm learning all the tech speak. I can do this. So, yeah, guys, bear with me while I get used to the wonderful world of vlogging. So I'm out for another walk. Still have a busted up foot. Can't do all my cardio classes that I love to do. So I figured a nice little walk at the Loch and up at the equestrian centre would be a good stand-in for now. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to chat and show you some things along the way. Come join me. Here we go. Lanark Racecourse. And football facility, lest we forget. Can't forget about the footballers. Sorry, that sounded real snidey and passive aggressive. I didn't mean it to. You can tell there's been a fair bit of rain. It's looking pretty boggy. No horses out. I did hear one having a whinny early on, but usually I come up here at the weekend and there's loads. And depending on what mood they're in, they do sometimes come up and give you a nuzzle and see if you've got any carrots, sugar lumps, whatever the hell it is that horses get excited by. It is amazingly another beautiful day. Just like yesterday. And it makes walking so much easier and calmer when you're not battling the elements. And that is certainly the case when you're out hill and mountain climbing. That's one of the things I do as a sort of stress relief, and yeah, climbing, any physical activity really, all the cardio stuff as well. It's all about 80% mental health and 20% having fun, moving my body and keeping fit, keeping in shape. I can see horses. That tells me I'm getting closer to the entryway for the woods. When we came up with the drone, we also found a little gate with no trespassing or words to that effect written on it. And the gate was open. So John being John was like, yeah, why not? Let's go, let's push through. It took us through to some pretty cool, kind of like wasteland with little tiny mini Christmas trees growing out of it. If I can, I might try and take you guys up there today. It's pretty cool. Look who I went and found. Some friends. Currently chilling out, eating straw, hay, horse stuff. I'm good with animals. I'm essentially Dr. Dolittle with a camera. Hey guys, what's happening? Oh, that was almost a horse joke. Hey guys, because of the hay. You are sweet. Yeah. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people don't like others watching them while they eat. Kind of rude, really. But I get the impression you guys don't mind, you're used to it. Oh, listen to the sound of them chewing. That is precious. Hey! Now, I don't think you're coming towards me because you think I've got food. Because why would you? You've got food. This can only mean that you like me. Or see me as a potential threat. Yeah, he's got that kind of passive look in his eye. The same look you get when you're done with someone's shit. Are you done with me? I guess so. I like your coat. Very high fashion. The little damp patches are really working for you. What about you? Hey, sweetheart. Wow. I swear in my single days that's how I would just sit and eat food. Half of it hanging out my mouth, half of it down my face and clothes. Probably sitting in my underwear, not a care in the world. You, my friend, are my spirit animal. Just coming up on the private property sign, stepping very gingerly on a muddy path towards where I think was the entrance. Well, unofficial entrance anyway. Uh-oh. Here we go, guys. How creepy do I look and feel right now? Okay, I'm not trying to scare the shit out of any dog walkers, so I'll be back with you in a sec. I made it through the other side. We didn't go up this way before, but we did see a really cool derelict house that reminded me of the types of places that one of my favourite YouTubers, Exploring with Alec, shout out to you, my friend. This is the kind of stuff that would be right up his street. I must admit, I am getting used to being the creepy girl from Lanark that walks along the streets filming stuff. It's like the role I was born to play. Yeah. The weirdness of that is wearing off remarkably quickly, which is probably a good thing. So I'm going to be brave. I'm going to get as close to this house as I can without being shot or mauled by savage dogs. If that does happen, it's been nice knowing you. I can hear someone shouting, and for a split second I thought it was at me. Turns out I'm not so used to it after all. Just try and get a shot of the house in the background. There it is. There I am. But this place is so cool. There's trees, really tall, thin trees, all in a row behind me here. Look at that. That's awesome. So the plan was to maybe have a bit of chat in this little place here because I just think it's so cool. I'll see if I can find some of the cool little Christmas trees that we saw last time too. This is the spot. It's beautiful. It's serene and I can walk and talk quietly without fear of interruption. So yeah, mental health. Where to begin? It's such a broad topic, isn't it? I guess if I could ask you guys any questions, I would ask you, how do you feel when you're having a bit of a crisis? Whether it's a short-term one, a long-term one, whether you're getting treatment for it, or you're kind of just seeing how things go, whether the thought of going to a doctor just seems completely overwhelming and scary. How do you feel? Do you get angry? Do you get sad? Do you get scared? Do you feel like no one understands? That's a common one. I feel like that a lot. Maybe a bit less so these days. I think there's a guy having a piss over there. Let's walk slightly this way. Everywhere in nature is the men's bathroom. Like John will literally be like, going to the men's room. And I'm like, where's there a toilet? It's just a bush. So yeah, I know I speak a lot about John, and he's been with me in the last video. So I was single for a hell of a long time. And I used those around about 6 years to kind of recover from a lot of relationship trauma. And I thought I'd done pretty well, guys. I thought I'd smashed it. I'm just checking for the guy pissing. I thought I'd smashed it. I'm like, I am so ready to date. And in many ways I was, and I am. But one of the things that has thrown up, which I wasn't expecting, is a lot of past trauma in a kind of post-traumatic stress kind of way. Like you find yourself reacting to things in a way that you wouldn't normally had you not lived through something like that. And it's crazy disappointing. That's a huge thing I've felt, is a really overwhelming sense of disappointment in myself. Like, did I miss something on my big journey to enlightenment? How could I have missed this? You know, all of this stuff that clearly needed, like I've had therapy I've been on medication a long time ago, and you tend to think, you know, that therapy is a sort of once and done thing, which is really misguided. I think everybody should be having therapy all the time. Like, not all the time, but on a fairly regular basis these days. Because it's been so rough, especially through COVID and lockdown. I've just seen some really tiny, gorgeous, adorable trees. So yeah, what had I missed? People should be having therapy all the time, and they should be. And I plan to maybe have more in the future. But in a certain way, I've made peace with, there is nothing that can prepare you for getting into a new relationship, especially if your past one has been bad. You know, I'm not going to go into too much detail, given that we don't really know each other that well yet. But it was bad. And yeah, a lot of things have kind of cropped up that I didn't expect. But why would they crop up? If you're single and being strong and independent on your own, you can do what you want, you can say what you want, you can feel how you want to feel, and there's no repercussions for it. You know, there's nobody else to consider in that. Then there are going to be things that are going to remain dormant until things stir them up. And that's what's been happening at an alarming rate. But what I would say is I'm lucky to have found someone who is extraordinary in the way he deals with my outbursts. Nothing short of miraculous. And it just made me realise there must be so many other people that are going through the same stuff. You know, maybe you had a breakup during lockdown, just before it, and you had to go through all that shit on your own, and now you're maybe looking at dating apps. That's another video for another time, guys. It is rough out there. And trying to figure out what you want, who you want, what you don't want. It's a minefield. And I do feel really lucky and really blessed, to use a really overused word, but I really do. But yeah, know this, guys. The best people and the ones who are truly meant to stay in your life are the ones who will understand and do everything they can to help you through stuff that is essentially not your fault. Your responsibility is not what happened to you. Your responsibility is to evaluate your approach to how you deal with new things, and to not beat yourself up, and to not feel guilty for the thought that you're letting someone down. I know that's really hard. I do it all day long. How dare I give advice that I am clearly not taking? But it's true. And it's all part of a culture of, we still don't understand mental health fully, properly. And I guess me making these videos is a way of, I don't think I'm going to change the world. Nobody can change the world on their own. But what you can do is add to the voices that say, you know, things like post-traumatic stress disorder, stuff like anxiety, depression, mood swings, even hormonal mood swings are real. And people aren't crazy. They're just people trying to deal with really difficult shit, and they need bucket loads of time and patience and understanding. That's what you deserve. If you've been through, you know, whether it's domestic abuse or of any form, domestic abuse doesn't have to be physical. It can be psychological too. It can be emotional, it can be sexual. You know, any abuse that happens in a domestic environment is abuse as far as I'm concerned. And if you've come out of that, first off, you're amazing, you survived it. Some people don't get that luxury. And you deserve someone who truly loves you for who you are and will help you, because, you know, I'm coming to understand that there's nothing more beautiful than being healed through someone else. You know, there's all the therapy and the meds you can take in the world, but if a person takes time out to be that for you and to be your healing, it's pretty amazing, guys. And if you find it, hold on to it.